Hi, I'm Elle, and today we're going to talk about Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics company. You're not here for recycled receipts that you've already seen days ago though, and to tell you the truth, I've attempted scripting this video a few times to try and strip out all of my bias like I normally do, but if you follow me on Twitter, and you should follow me on Twitter, my salt levels are incredibly high. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. Today I'm going to take you guys on the same receipt gathering journey that I've been on, so you can follow exactly where my mind and the facts have personally taken me, and at the end of it, I would love to hear your conclusions. To give you guys a little more background on how I was thinking, the truth is that I wasn't going to make a video about Jaclyn. Our previous launches and collabs have had a ton of problems, so to be honest, I presumed that there would be a lot of nitpicking, and it would probably be okay. When I first saw the odd damaged lipstick, I dismissed that considering every single brand out there will have some individual bad products that end up being bought, where the vast majority are fine. And when it started coming out that the problem was much, much bigger than I could have imagined, I still didn't see a point in making a video. The story was pretty open and shut. By the time I can make a video, the rest of the community would have had every receipt already out there and I'd have nothing to add. Why waste all of our time, right? But then I noticed something. Jaclyn Hill's brand is called Jaclyn Cosmetics, but our lipstick tubes have the letters JH shining proudly on the lid. Now, as far as I'm personally concerned, relationships, breakups and deaths aren't tea. But for important context, Jaclyn Hill divorced John Hill in May 2018. Jaclyn deciding to keep her married name is completely her right and totally understandable, since that's how she's been known for years, but I found the difference surprising. If Jaclyn has Jaclyn Cosmetics, then why stamp the lipstick tubes with JH instead of a simple J? When Jaclyn had major issues with her Morphe Vault release, emails between Jaclyn and Makeup Geek founder Marlene Estelle were leaked. As Zaddy Doll reminded me on Twitter, on the 19th of August 2015, Jaclyn stated that she had just ordered 300,000 lipstick tubes for our brand, which she felt was great progress, because she had 18 months of work behind her. So Jaclyn had been working on what has now become Jaclyn Cosmetics since around February of 2014-ish. That's a long time in the making, and there have been false starts since those emails and now. But I wondered. For the sake of argument, let's say that the JH tubes were from the same 300,000 that she originally ordered in 2015 and has had around at home since then. Why not name our brand Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics instead of Jaclyn Cosmetics to keep the branding all the same? I thought then that maybe I was being a bit picky, so I decided to check Jaclyn's trademarks. Jaclyn trademarked JH Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics on the 21st of February 2017. That's an important date because Trendmood reported on Jaclyn replying to a Twitter user to state that she had started production on our brand in March 2017. The trademark was created and, according to Jaclyn, almost immediately went into production once that trademark was filed. That date tends to be the one that other people use to argue that the lipsticks Jaclyn created are old, claiming that the lipsticks were the ones made during the first half of 2017, 2 years ago. But that's where things get interesting. Jaclyn trademarked Jaclyn Cosmetics on the 1st of March 2019. Since Jaclyn's video, that fits our timeline. She claimed that she had issues with the previous lab, which could be the 2017 production factory. She trademarked right before she started production in 2017, just like she trademarked right before she started production in 2019, since she's claimed that she made all of our lipsticks in May, although there was a little more time between the trademark and production this time round. So, okay, Jaclyn probably wanted to save money on the lipstick tubes that she already had. She created Jaclyn Cosmetics when she was ready to start production, and the tubes have her initials, but maybe she wants to slowly move away from the name Jaclyn Hill to be known as Jaclyn to distance herself from our married name. That's an easy one. What isn't easy is that our branding is confused elsewhere too. For our brand, her website is Jaclyn Cosmetics. Her brand's Twitter is Jaclyn Cosmetics. But both her business Instagram and Facebook pages for the company are Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics. Since our brand was first teased on the 19th of May and launched on the 30th of May, the confused brand name seems to be a really sloppy oversight to me. Confused, I wanted to look even closer at the business itself. In Jaclyn Cosmetics' privacy policy, the business address is listed. Possibly ironically, it shares a building space with a few lawyers' offices, but that's really not a big deal. What felt like a big deal was that when I looked up Jaclyn Cosmetics, it was only registered as a foreign LLC business in Florida on the 30th of May, on the very same day that the lipsticks were made available for sale. Now, I'm not a business expert by any stretch of the imagination, so I was left wondering whether that was some kind of American business tactic. Only, again, on the 30th of May, Jaclyn Cosmetics was also filed as a foreign LLC in California. Thanks to California's easier to understand filings, that was when I found out that Jaclyn Cosmetics wasn't created in May at all, but was actually created on the 19th of February 2019 in Delaware, which, as I've been reliably told, is better for business tax purposes. To recap, Jaclyn started Jaclyn Cosmetics on the 19th of February and trademarked the name on the 1st of March. But much more importantly than that, Jaclyn didn't just open Jaclyn Cosmetics LLC in February. She also created Jaclyn Cosmetics Holdings LLC on the 25th of February. Now, for those of you that don't know what a holdings company is, from Investopedia, a holding company is a parent corporation, limited liability company, or limited partnership that owns enough voting stock in another company so that it can control the company's policies and oversee its management decisions. Although a holding company owns the assets of other companies, it merely maintains oversight capacities and therefore does not actively participate in running a business's day-to-day operations. Holding companies enjoy the benefit of protection from losses, where if a subsidiary company goes bankrupt, its creditors cannot legally pursue the holding company for remuneration. This is pure speculation because we have no idea what Jaclyn Cosmetics Holdings LLC actually does in the background, but it would make logical sense that the holdings are for Jaclyn Cosmetics. It's right there in the name. That could potentially mean that although Jaclyn insinuates that she's the one in control of Jaclyn Cosmetics, there could be different investors that are actually calling the shots, which lines up with the ever-present theory that Morphe has a major hand in Jaclyn Cosmetics. Jaclyn has long been called a Morphe shill after her collabs with them and the issues that they've had. It's seeming more like she's a saleswoman for Morphe than anything else. So to think that Morphe is involved with Jaclyn in this could be a stretch. One of the more damning pieces of evidence to suggest that Morphe does have a hand in Jaclyn's business is that both Morphe and Jaclyn Cosmetics use the same kinds of batch codes. Each company creates their own kind of batch code because that's for their own records. As you can see from Check Fresh's examples here, different companies have different ways of recording different batches of cosmetic products. They're pretty simple, and some do share a set of simple 4-digit numbers, for example. What's different about Morphe and Jaclyn Cosmetics, however, is that both companies have used batch codes structured around 2 letters, 2 numbers, and then a final letter, as shown in batch codes that Morphe produced for Jaclyn's Vault collaboration, explained on Zaddydoll's website, against a set of Jaclyn's own new lipsticks. That's not a random string of numbers, that's a really specific way of marking batches. It could be a coincidence, it could be that Jaclyn took advice from Morphe since they've worked together so closely in the past, I don't know, but it does look suspicious and it's not really something that I can prove either way. One of the reasons that I enjoy making drama videos and keeping up with drama is because I love picking apart personalities and motivations, so I had to know more about how Jaclyn was thinking, what she decided to do and why. From her video attempting to debunk the heavy criticisms against her, she put up receipts to say that her lipsticks were safe, but I wasn't interested in what Jaclyn said in her video. I was interested in whether those receipts actually supported her. In her first receipt, Jaclyn shared a Certificate of Laboratory Analysis Liquids page from her shade That Girl. It shows that the lipstick was created on the 15th of May 2019 and would expire on the same date in 2021. Although the lipstick boxes state that there's a 12-month expiry, I can give the benefit of the doubt and imagine that she just wanted to cover our bases. The problem in that receipt is the batch number. 135H is completely different to the GC05A batch code that has been seen on lipsticks bought by actual customers. That isn't just a different batch code, it's an entirely different kind of batch code, which doesn't make any sense. As a completely ignorant outsider, the alleged certificate looks like it tested a single lipstick right after manufacture over the course of 2 days. Considering the amount of lipsticks that have a rough, bumpy texture, the certificate showing that potentially a single lipstick matched the standard doesn't look meaningful either. It's still weird to me that the lipstick allegedly tested was actually tested 4 days before Jaclyn teased the launch of our brand and only 15 days before the lipsticks were sold, but that might just be me. The Good Manufacturing Process certificate doesn't sit right with me though. That could easily be copied and edited in a basic Microsoft Word document that doesn't look like any kind of certificate to me, but again, I'm far from an expert. What's most suspicious is that Jaclyn Cosmetics is referenced against an effective date that started on the 19th of April 2017, when Jaclyn Cosmetics as a company didn't exist until the 19th of February 2019. Even if the company creating the lipsticks for Jaclyn was referencing that their own Good Manufacturing Process certificate was given in 2017, before Jaclyn Cosmetics started working with them, since that's the only date given and I personally can't find anything in regards to the reference number printed in the bottom left, we're all left guessing as to what that actually means. It's weird that the supposed signature that's been blocked out is smaller than the standard text size though. The rest of the blackouts are simple black rectangles, but the signature looks like it was blacked out with a pen. Very strange. The official Good Manufacturing Process Certificate from SGS, a massive company that leads in inspection and testing, has the most important information blacked out by pen again. But what's puzzling here is that the certificate is valid from the 7th of August 2017, months later than the last alleged certificate. If the last one was merely stating when the manufacturer was given their certificate, and Jaclyn Cosmetics started working with them after 2017, then it would make sense that both certificates would show the same date. But they don't. That tells me that either the last certificate is a Microsoft Word style fake to manipulate the audience, or Jaclyn Cosmetics was working with that manufacturer in April 2017. Remember that back in April 2017, Jaclyn tweeted a reply that she had started manufacture a month earlier. That's a really weird coincidence.
Every single ingredient in my lipstick is new and it is FDA approved. And again, I will give you proof right here. If you guys want to look over these documents in depth and tear them apart, you go right ahead and see that they are not contaminated. Every single ingredient is FDA approved and they are not expired. I want to ease your minds with that before even getting into all the nitty gritty stuff of this video so that you're not sitting here thinking like, oh my gosh, is it true that if I use this lipstick that it's gonna hurt me in some way? No, that is not the case. And now you guys have seen that, so let's move forward.
There is no reason that Jaclyn would have shown that first certificate if that was from a manufacturer that she'd used before, considering that she showed it in an attempt to prove that her lipsticks weren't contaminated. Jaclyn knew that this was an important video that would get picked apart, but using that alleged certificate only suggests that the lipsticks have been in production since April 2017, like the tweet she posted claimed, contrary to her stating that there were problems with one manufacturer, so she decided to move to another. Why show off a receipt about a manufacturer that has nothing to do with her sold lipsticks to protect those sold lipsticks in a video that she knew would be scrutinized so heavily? But onto our last two receipts. The first thing that struck me was the testing section that mentioned animal or human studies. That could mean that the data used in the tests were ones that had historically been used on animals. But it could also mean that the individual ingredients used to make Jaclyn's lipsticks were tested on animals. And Jaclyn Cosmetics claims to be cruelty-free. Some shady companies try to get around claiming that they're cruelty-free by saying that their final products aren't tested on animals. But if the ingredients are tested, they're not cruelty-free. The vague wording in that test is really worrying. So I decided to find the company that Jaclyn used for the test, P&R Consultancy. When I used the website address shown at the bottom of Jaclyn's last two receipts, I was surprised to find just how unprofessional P&R's website actually was. When I tried to enlarge the page, I was given an error message. The website itself is so poorly made that it can't handle anything other than the standard web page size without glitching. Considering that Jaclyn used them for our brand, something that she had to have known would make a massive amount of money, that's even more shocking to me. P&R boasts that they have thousands of formulations to sell to brands, but I'll let you pause to read exactly what their services offer. I reached out to them to ask some questions, but I still haven't had any kind of reply. Interested, and since they're a British company, I decided to look them up. The company itself looks tiny, and even though the address has changed twice, the website shows an address that they haven't used since 2015. The director has a blank LinkedIn account, blank Twitter, and according to the UK global database that shares information about businesses, has no employees outside of that single business owner. With all that information, it's really weird to me that Jaclyn Hill would scout out a small British business to do something so important for the launch of her long-anticipated brand, especially when that small business just so happens to have thousands of formulations ready to sell off the shelf. No shade to small businesses doing well, but for Jaclyn Cosmetics, a brand practically guaranteed to sell out quickly because of Jaclyn Hill's name, I would have thought that using a much bigger company with more experience would have been more secure. But this is the dead end. There are a ton of unanswered questions. Is the first certificate faked, or is that proof that the lipsticks are in fact old? Did Jaclyn use a tiny, harder-to-find British business to make our formulations for her to potentially cut corners? Who is really in control of Jaclyn Cosmetics? I honestly don't know what to tell you guys. We've all seen the state of our lipsticks, and even the state of the replacements that have been sent out. A ton of other people have already talked about the rest of the issues surrounding our lipsticks and how they were manufactured. But with their information and now this background business information, I'm starting to get the impression that Jaclyn might have produced lipsticks that were on the way out, hurried to create our brand with a bunch of mistakes, and the batch made in May might not have even seen the light of day yet. Because thanks to Dre sending me this receipt, Jaclyn Cosmetics says that they'll be right back in stock by the end of this month. So I don't have any conclusions, and a lot of this is pure conjecture. But what I will tell you is that I think it's all very, very interesting. As always, like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, or don't do any of those things because I'm not your mother. And, as we say in The Sims, dag dag.